What y'all doing in there? What y'all over there doing? What y'all doing? What y'all doing in there? Well, I hope what y'all are doing is waiting for me and M.A.P.S Media to do this party. Because I'm like, what y'all doing in there? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing over there? Okay. So we need for y'all to just stay tuned and watch what we got. Guys. I hope you waiting for me. Here I go. So let's get to these M.A.P.S Media party because it's New Year's Eve, y'all. And we stuck in the house, okay? We can't go nowhere. It is coronavirus. You don't want it to get in your lungs and in your breath air. And you don't want to be out here raw dogging that air because you don't want to get no viruses in here. So we want you to stay home in the house. Watch us. Watch y'all. Watch us, okay? While we recap the year for you. All right, we gonna recap it. We gonna do that. We gonna recap. I don't know what we doing. We gonna recap it. Yes, we are. Let's recap it. Historic election. We've had unprecedented times. We've had a quarantine. We've had a pandemic, and we've almost had a stock market crash. It has been a mess. But what we did learn is that we can persevere. So 2020 was really the worst, best year we've ever had. So basically, we all lived through the 1920s, we lived through the 1930s, and we lived through the 1960s all at the same goddamn time. So we made it. And if you're watching this, it means you made it also. So we are survivors, okay? We want to look back at all of the amazing things that happened, as well as some of the not so great things that happened, and then celebrate all the people who are with us now and all the people that did not make it through 2020. So we are going to look back at 2020 in pictures.
Yeah. New whip name Stella, hip game hella. Young getting money but my bitch ain't yellow. Brown skin beauty with a booty for the win. Fuck her like I love her but I treat her like a friend. Putting Mary in the wind, you can smell it from a block. From the beach to the town, give a fuck about a cop. Time is of the essence, give a fuck about a clock. I can judge it by the planet, you are talking to a god. No hurt you, got homies that'll murk you. Wanna end the violence but they ain't afraid to hurt you. Stepping to me false is a sin, be respectful, that's a virtue. Never thirsty for you, money is what I pursue. She's an opportunist, I can smell it in her perfume. See her when I perform and after in the dress room. If she really with it, we can run it in the restroom.
The party is Eve. It's gonna be we gonna do it up. I don't have any liquor. I don't think they have any liquor either, but that's fine. It's if y'all got liquor, y'all can get fucked up for us. That's all that matters. But before we get on, I gotta introduce. We have Ashley, the cannabis nurse. She is a, I guess, Brunchin alumnus.
Okay, cool. Look at that. I got titles.
She's
titles.
The CEO and founder of Cannabis Nursing Solutions. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So she'll tell you, because I know a lot of people like, what the fuck is a cannabis nurse? So we will explain. I know. That's what I said. When I found out, I was like, oh, I found one. And then we have Miss Karen L., who is the founder of Saith Loud and the Saith Loud podcast. So you know me, I'm Lise Winnie. So we're going to do this today. Come on, ladies, tell us, what does 2020 mean to you? What the whole year of 2020, what does it mean to you? What has 2020 done?
Girl, what has it done?
That's how it feels. Let me say what hasn't it done?
Right, like you woke up in 2020, right? You arrived, right? It's a new millennia, the new decade, and we thought we was about to do some things in 20. Right? No, okay. So March comes, and then now I'm home, and then I'm still home.
I've
like this year don't count. It don't count.
We can't get a do-over.
Technically, I aged about 5 years from the stress, but I feel like this birthday didn't count. Like the whole year was wasted. I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit outside the house.
Right. Like, we celebrated all the holidays in the house.
We did.
We've done all the activity. Right. All the activities. We did virtual dance-offs.
And birthday parties.
And anniversaries.
Yeah.
And funerals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my whole husband's family at my house at a virtual funeral.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were stretched, I think, beyond what we thought we could do.
Yeah.
But we made it. That's all.
Yeah. COVID-19 or coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. We learned more technical terms this year than we ever thought would be imaginable. We also learned more about the election than we ever thought was imaginable. Most people didn't know what the electoral college was, let alone when they actually take their vote. So 2020 is teaching us some valuable lessons, and to take your civic duty as well as your health seriously. But it also gave us some downsides. So let's look back at coronavirus is getting real.
Because this year pretty much has been dominated by COVID. So there's tons of things that have gone on. COVID porn got big. We have M.A.P.S. We have the rumors that got started, the vaccine. Where do we start with COVID?
Well, let's start with the vaccine. That's current.
Yes. You getting it?
I'm in category F.
What? Fuck it.
Is that it?
No, it's not. I'm literally in category F. So I work for a hospital, and they tier us.
Okay.
And who gets the vaccine first? So I'm in F. So I'm just gonna wait until it's my turn.
Okay.
And we'll assess at that time.
Okay, got you. So you don't know whether or not you gonna do it, because it seemed like they've been faking some of these shots.
It do seem like it.
Allegedly.
It seems that way.
You getting it, Karen?
No. That's a hard no for me. I don't want it. Listen, give it to a couple. I'm not saying I can't be swayed. I'm saying give it to a couple people. Let me see how that turn out first.
Right. Like
I'm not concerned about getting a shot. We've all gotten shots before. I'm concerned about what are the side effects, because this shot came out so fast.
Girl.
That if I grow an extra titty or something happen, who gonna be responsible for that? And then I think about the children. What are the long-term effects? Because I'm an educator. What are the long-term effects? Like I joke around a lot, but me is one thing. But my son is 11 years old. What happened when he's 22 and he want to have children?
Right. They don't know. They gonna, just like they did birth control back in the 60s. They're gonna wake up in 1999 and be like, "Oh, my bad. We ain't know. But we just found out."
That's what they said. They said you going to be up late at night and you going to hear that commercial. If you've taken the COVID vaccine from Pfizer, Moderna, or Biotech, you may be entitled to compensation.
I'm not saying that the vaccine doesn't fight against COVID. We take flu vaccines, we take chicken pox, we take all. I'm not saying vaccines don't fight against things. They do. What I'm asking you is, what is going to happen to me a year from now? I saw on the internet where people were getting Bell's palsy.
I saw that.
Like their face was going, half of their face was going numb. I saw if you carry an EpiPen, which I do, you're not supposed to take it because of the side effects. So I feel like, one, the education has to be there, but the research has to be there to back the education and the science. And until you guys could do that, we're going to have a lot of people that do take it and a lot of people that don't. My next question, though, is what happens if you have a job like mine or the nurse where your job tells you you have to take it?
Girl.
Well, they're not in a place to tell us we got to take it at this point. They ain't got enough.
They told us that we all need to take it. We all need to
telling
take
y'all
it.
that, and they giving us choices in the hospital.
They said if we want to come back to school,
well, can you opt for virtual forever?
forever.
Forever.
That's what they said. That all the teachers are going to be vaccinated when they go vaccinated to go back to school in September.
That's a hard one.
Guess I'm
maybe I
don't know. Guess I'm finna tap dance outside. I don't know. I don't know. How you get to tell me to do that though? How do you get to tell me to do that?
Is it y'all governor? Like what's going on with that? Like because New York y'all got it bad. Like I should say y'all had it bad up there.
Yeah, but still, I don't know like who gets to be the person that says you have to do this versus you don't. Because they also said they're going to be putting little IDs so for people that fly.
Okay.
And stuff like that, so they know like there's going to be ways to track it. And I believe it because if they got stuff on your phone to track it. I mean, my sister's in London. She said that there's an app on your phone. Every time you go somewhere, you have to check in on the app so that they're tracking everyone. So if you want to go out to eat at a restaurant right now in London, because of COVID, you have to track that you're there on your phone. And then they're tracking everyone so they know who you came in contact and where you were.
Oh, wow.
We got that kind of tracking here, too. It's just that it's not on the app.
No. But we did all wake up with that thing on our phone, that COVID thing on our phones. So.
That is true.
And I just want to know if we could do that fast, why we couldn't do that for the sex offenders.
That is true.
That is a good point. I have not heard that one. Well, can somebody answer that, please?
If we tracking people and y'all got technology to make it happen that quickly, like why was we lagging with so many other things before? You made me go to the DMV before. I could have did it online. Now we online. You can renew your license, register your car, all that kind of stuff. Before you had me sitting there take the day off work.
This whole time they lied to us.
I'm just saying, like, COVID has really brought up a lot of things where it was like we were slacking before, and now it's like maybe we should leave it this way. All the kids at school didn't have computers, no money. COVID hit, everybody got
everybody got one.
Most of them. I'm still one of my children don't have one. School system.
Oh really?
Yeah, we just got one. But the point is there was no money before and now everybody was able to pull it out. Like why weren't we doing these things when we needed to before a pandemic? Why didn't we put that much effort into it before?
True that.
Because the government suck ass. That's what it is. And why are masks political?
Because the president don't want to wear one? Because Donald Trump?
But why has this become a white? If you white and Republican, you can't wear a mask. I don't understand that.
I don't know.
Because they listening to Trumpkin.
Yeah, that's their friend.
Because he doesn't do it. So if he doesn't believe in it, there's people walking around right now like there's no pandemic out there. If he doesn't believe in it, then they're not going to believe in it. And if he doesn't wear a mask, they're not going to wear a mask. And they believe in what he's saying. But you're right.
I wonder about those people though. Like, how are they listening to him and think that he makes sense?
I don't know. There are people in the hospital on ventilators right now talk about they still believe in him.
I think it's a cult. You know how it is. You done seen some people that get so wrapped up in their religion and everything, they can't see nothing else.
So these people still believe the election was rigged?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do. They actually are people out here right now that are donating money to have states recount the election, even though Biden won about 14.
A whole lot.
How many times?
Not by a little bit. It's not a little margin of error. It's a lot.
I just don't understand this. Like, you stole the election the first time and we got proof and nobody said nothing. We didn't recount you. We let you have it. Now you lose. The only reason you could be this adamant about having won is if you cheated again.
And he was supposed to have won. Yeah, him and Russia.
That's the only way you could be this adamant. Like, yo, I paid to win this. Something is wrong.
But he said it. We just ignored it. We ignored. It's like a bad boyfriend. We ignored all the signs.
He got caught though. They have proof of Russia that he rigged the election from the first time. So the only reason you could argue this much is if you were like, damn, I done paid these guys $5 million. Y'all got to be wrong. Something ain't right. Go ahead and.
But I'm telling you, it's because we didn't see women. They didn't caught the man in the bed with the girl, and they still like, I don't know if he cheating, girl. I don't know.
It could have just been an accident. He might have just slipped and then just fell. You know how sometimes it just slide right in.
He was taking a nap. He got knocked.
And she just broke in and took her clothes off and got in the bed. Okay, sis. All right. Is it crack?
Right.
So we the signs was there, and this is where we're at. So I don't know how long this is gonna last. If he gonna leave on January.
They say he's talking about yesterday. They were saying that he's telling his advisor he not leaving.
Horse shit, for real.
That's what they said. Go Google it. They said he was telling his advisors he's not leaving on the 20 whatever date the inauguration date is. He's supposed to leave. He don't want to leave. What? He don't want to be the president either, though, because he out here, golfing and stuff.
Right. It's not like
people dying.
Presidential things
of getting locked up.
I mean, I think he's scared to go home. Like, his wife don't want him either. He ain't got nowhere to go.
And neither do his neighbors in Mar-a-Lago. Did you hear that? They don't want him to move there.
Nobody wants him. We don't want him in New York. I can tell you that.
Oh, they him and Cuomo don't get along.
Black Lives Matter in front of Trump Plaza how many times? That nobody want him here. So he don't got nowhere to go. His wife don't want him.
His daughter.
Like, he could go to he can go somewhere in the Mideast.
They don't want him either. He need to go to Russia. That's it.
That's a good idea.
They don't want him either. Like
he gotta go to his mama house. That's the only person that's gonna take him.
That's what I said. He don't want him neither. But now that okay, they sent him to the hospital, but the doctor said, no, it's cool. This is standard protocol. I ain't bring the first lady because, she whatever. All right? She whatever. But this is the standard protocol. He the president. Okay? He deserves the best care. Fuck everybody else. But he deserves the best care. Fuck everybody. And that's pretty much what I got. Every time they talk, that's what I got. Okay.
To say it's overhyped, I mean, try to tell that to the people whose states are shut down, like Washington State and Georgia. I know AD, my people's down there, the schools are out for 2 weeks.
This or that than the other person. So because I'm a nurse, the impact that I feel is different than somebody else who's affected by, let's say, public transportation. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like so that back and forth battle about how you should be doing this or you should be doing that. You don't know what it's like to be in my shoes, just like I don't know what it's like to be in your shoes and the impact it's having on you. So anyway, back to what I'm about to say. But it's really sad to me to watch my baby nurses sit here and say they don't have access to the equipment they need to protect themselves from this. I think that's
a fear. If just like what Ashley just said, do that in your little corner, do that in your little house. Don't get on social media for that matter and just get people riled up, because that's what's happening right now. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. All I said, Williams has been quarantined for 10 days after visiting Magic City, which is apparently a very popular strip club. He said he went there for wings. Okay, sure. Go to a strip club just for the wings, that's fine.
We had just settled our brains on this goddamn vaccine when arose such a blunder on side of my TV screen. I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. I noticed they ain't injecting shit in them COVID vaccine needles.
So for me, COVID kind of was like, and I hate to say this, I hate feeling like this, but it was like a lifesaver for me. Like it was like that lifeline. Like I needed this break. I was feeling so guilty about the fact that I put so much energy into other children's education, and I kind of let my sons fall to the wayside.
I feel like it gets scarier and scarier. They tell us you can't, then they tell us you do, and it's like it's a lot. And y'all is out here in these streets. Listen, y'all is out here full in these streets. Y'all have forgotten about COVID. Y'all think COVID done packed her shit up and she done went home. She is not. COVID is still lurking around. She is in your trunk. She is under your bed. She is in your closet. That's why I'm telling y'all not wearing masks no more. Y'all back in the club. Y'all back in the strip club. Like, y'all don't really need to have COVID titties in your face. Like, you can wait. Like, the parents, that we have a newfound respect for teachers. Now, I don't know who these parents are that didn't realize the teacher's job was harder than a motherfucker. Like, I don't know who these people are. Parents have to know that you don't like your kid most days, okay? You know, like, there's a couple great moments, but most days it's like, you rolled on my carpet again. You know, it's those types of things. But
2020 has been a very, very sad year for a lot of families, not just people in the spotlight. And so we want to take this time to wrap our arms around anyone who has lost a loved one in 2020 in general. Doesn't have to be from COVID, doesn't have to be from anything related to COVID or the quarantine, but we want to give our hearts warm to anyone who is grieving anything, whether it's a loved one, a pet, a job, a relationship. We want to send our hearts out to you. 2020 has been a very hard year. So our hearts go out to anyone who has lost a loved one and anyone who has lost anything in 2020.
Because when Kobe died, I didn't know the man. I watch basketball. I do watch basketball, but I wasn't like one of those crazy basketball people or anything. But I felt like when he died, like I knew him. Like my heart sank just a little bit in my chest. You know what I mean? The wind was kind of knocked out of me because I think we always see these people and we think they're bigger than life. Mm-hmm. Right? Like certain people can't die. Like Michael Jackson can't die. Kobe Bryant can't die. You know, T'Challa can't die.
Great.
And then they die and they're like, oh shit, yes they can.
Far from 15 in, now I'm finally standing out. I thought it would all come crashing down, till I found out what life's about. Now I'm a fighter, gotta keep on moving on, cause I'm a fighter, my breakthrough won't be long. It don't matter where I stand as long as it's on top. The mother rappers probably rolled off, but this gon' rock. And everybody out there wonder how can it go pop. The right money guaranteed that the hits don't flop. The hood money guaranteed that I could get more drops. Added streams to the swagger just to get more props. For real though, know you heard that the best don't stop. From the east, but I'ma do it to the west on lock. One time for my partners that I eat with. Hey, 2 times to getting rich and ballin' out on every weekend. I had to do something. The game was off the deep end. I had the same dream even when I'm not sleeping. So if my heart weakens, my soul will support it. It costs to be the boss, but I think I can afford it. I had to compromise between real and important, and now I space jam like.
No, everybody on the face of this earth, whether you watched basketball or not, you knew who Kobe Bryant was, right? Because on and off the court, he was seen. And this, you know, this is world. We're talking about the world knowing who Kobe Bryant was. Favorite Kobe moments would have to be the fights, because you know Kobe wasn't backing down for nobody.
Okay.
I had to, you know, go back on YouTube and they said the 10 greatest Kobe fights or the interactions he had. I didn't know it was that many, first of all. So if I would have to say a favorite Kobe moment, it would have to be the fights because of him not backing down. So, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
How about you, Terry? You got any favorite Kobe moments?
All of them.
With you. But go ahead.
He was on Sister. I never forget that episode when the girls was trying to pretend like they was dating Kobe, and I was mad because they were trying to pretend like they was dating my man. Yes.
Let me find out Ashley is a stalker.
Ashley, you're a stalker?
I I might have been at that time.
I can believe
Ginsburg,
that.
the notorious RBG, passed away at the age of 87 years old. So shout out to her. She has been a big proponent in women's rights and civil rights. She went to the best school, law school, and could not get a job because of her gender, and she fought through it. She also, has done so many things for people, and she has some amazing quotes out there. So make sure you check her out. Make sure you get the book, The Notorious RBG, because she was so dope in her life, and we need to really honor her legacy before we move on from her legacy, which is totally, I think, on the levels of disrespect that Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump have been beyond. Like, she wasn't even she hadn't even been gone before they started plotting to replace her. Like, it's just a lot. And that was her last dying wish, to have another president. Hopefully she would be replaced under another president, which is a sad thing that, if you think about it, this woman, this great woman who had done so much for the world, carried this burden through pancreatic cancer so that she could try to stay and hang on for the country, the United States of America. That's a lot. That's what she, But I agree with you with saying that these people can't. Because when Chadwick Boseman, that hit me, because people were talking
that was hard.
Him the way that he looked before he passed.
We talked about it on brunching once.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, he's skinny. He might, and we didn't even consider that he was sick.
Yeah.
We didn't even consider it.
Yeah, because he worked through it. So it was crazy to me to see that. We also lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
When we lost her, Alex Trebek, we just lost him.
Poor Alex.
I know.
That's terrible. It seems like he's gonna live like forever.
That is
almost. True. Like, I just felt like he definitely is somebody that I thought shouldn't die. Like, period. Like, he should at least make it through a couple more generations of people.
Going backwards and I'm going away from it. But we also just lost Debo.
Oh yeah. That was hard.
Yeah, we lost him. We lost a lot of people from Friday though. I don't know how they gonna be.
Yeah. They're gonna be all new young people in it anyway. John Witherspoon's gone, right? Yvette Wilson is gone. Debo's gone. Mm-hmm. It's more like Tuesday.
That's what I said. I don't want.
Look back at the best verses.
But speaking of verses, what was the best verse? Because it started this year in quarantine. We had a bunch of different people. At first, the internet was all jacked up. It was all fucked up. Teddy Riley was in the back. Yep. And then they fixed it. Now everybody getting together. Who had the best verses of the year?
DMX and Snoop.
I think I agree with that.
For me, it was Beanie Man.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I was gonna say that. That was crazy. I had a laptop and my phone going.
Cause you're from the island, right?
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, that one was crazy. I like them all though. I think that Timbaland and Swiss Beats are geniuses for coming up with the idea and putting it together and being able to execute in a time where we didn't know what we were going to do. And then to pull in the numbers that they pulled in over the months. I mean, there was times where I was on there and there's 700,000 people tuning in to watch the show. Like, I just felt like, if there was any genius idea that came out of COVID and quarantine, that was one of them. Yeah. For them guys to do it, execute it, and make it go off. So, and that was big. Like, everybody knows about it. Everybody watches. Everybody tunes in. Everybody's taking sides. So I think it's been dope.
Yeah, I think they had over 1 million people watching it with Gucci Man and Jeezy, which was, that one was a little odd to me. It was a little weird.
Sometimes I think the pairings are weird. The people that they put together. I don't know if I would necessarily put those people together. But nonetheless, it makes for good entertainment.
Especially because they were.
What y'all think about Ashanti and what's her name?
Keisha.
Yeah, I want to see it. Like, I feel like I would enjoy it, but I know a lot of people don't bang with them. Like, I know they can't.
Really. I fucks with Ashanti. I
couldn't. Yeah, you sound just like her. That's exactly what she sounds like.
I like Ashanti and Keisha. I don't know how long.
Them.
I just don't know how long the show could be for me not to be depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got about 25 minutes before I'm about to start calling some exes and cursing them out. You know what I'm saying?
25, no, about 5. Because every time he don't love me, he don't want me.
Yeah. By the end of it, you either slitting your wrist or somebody else's wrist. I don't know. Their show need to cap at about 35, 45 minutes.
Right. You got all the millions of people ready to cut somebody.
A lot of people think he should beat Ashanti. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Ashanti beats Keisha.
I think it depends what we grading on. Are we going hit for hit, or are we going on vocal range?
Because Keisha wins vocally.
Keisha gonna win vocal. She sound like somebody church grandma. Of course she gonna win.
Yeah.
She be singing from her soul, like she got 8 ancestors behind her.
Yes, she do. She be singing her ass off. Remember, she used to sing through them. She used to have a gap in her teeth. She be singing through the gap. She used to sing that
fall
shit.
into the gap.
But Ashanti, I feel like hit for hit, Ashanti has some hits now. Commercial hits, radio plays. Yeah, Ashanti will get it. Packaging, Ashanti will get it. But range-wise, sitting and throwing down like it was, mashed potatoes and greens and cornbread. I don't know.
I think Ashanti
got that one.
Just from the heat. Just from from his murder. Like, if you put that.
No, that was Ja Rule. That was Ja Rule.
That count.
But she got the essence of that, so yes.
Because
you'll be able to be like, I remember this song. We was up in the club and this. That's what you want when a verses come on. You want to be like, remember this? I'm gonna text so-and-so. We was at the club when I lost my shoe to this song.
That's what Snoop did. All his was features. Like, you can't take it from.
That's true. That's true. Okay, fine. Fine.
Except for Drop It Like It's Hot and a couple songs that I was like, I've never heard this before.
Oh, there's some I never heard. I was like, I never heard this song. It's nice, but I never heard this song. I don't know this one. I have to sit back down
and listen to the words. You need to carefully pay attention.
And this one came out.
We're not even gonna get a Keisha Cole in them because Ashanti got the COVIDs, okay?
Yeah, she got COVID.
She got the COVIDs. I'm putting an S on it on purpose. She got the COVIDs. And so now we're going to get Too Short in E40. And I'm like, how long can that one be?
Not long.
Too Short.
You know who I would love to see in a versus battle? Old school. The Whispers and the OJs.
Who's watching that?
I am.
Who's watching that?
My grandmother. Like,
people
shut up. No, they not, because they can't get on. How you get on this Insta face? Come on here with this Insta face.
Okay.
I don't see him.
Darnell, get on this Insta face.
What channel that's on?
I didn't see it. I didn't watch it. I just kind of heard all the rumors about it. But this week, because you sent me the link, I went ahead and listened to it. I think it's kind of cute they doing that with their old selves. They sitting there and they playing.
Doing the Juneteenth. It was on Juneteenth. Yeah, Teddy Riley called him broke on the live for the Juneteenth. And I was like, okay, this is supposed to be for the black people, loving black people, and he just called you broke. I don't know what happened with that. And it all started because he said he didn't want the spirit of Teddy Riley to come and mess up the sound, because the sound quality on that verses was amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and I loved the music from both of them. You can't go wrong. The music from Alicia Keys and John Legend, like you just can't go wrong with that. And I will say, this is a sidebar, because I was talking about the white man in Walmart, but this is a sidebar to a sidebar. That was a dope ass. I will give that to Swiss, and it was really cute to see him really in there bigging up his wife. And I was pulling for John Legend, but to be totally honest with you, it's a win for the culture. So let's not. I'm not gonna do that. But shout out to them. That was amazing. I think it does. Ashley, what you thinking? Who's the better?
For me, DMX took it But I think it's because he's more nostalgic to me. Like, I was a fan coming up. You know what I mean? Like, I had his CDs. I already knew all his music. I could tell you the words.
Dogs for life.
Right. Like, I mean, all of that. Rough Ride, all of that. Like, that really just takes that home for me. But, you know, like you was saying, like, the collaboration was amazing. Like, I mean, I like the ones where it's not really a battle. Like, I like the ones where it's really more about the vibe and, you know, like just getting that music out and, you know, showing appreciation for one another. Like, for me, the best one besides this one, they're probably neck and neck, but Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. Like, I love that because it was so appreciative. Yeah, it was so appreciative and like the vibe was beautiful and all that. But I mean, if I had to choose a winner, I'd pick DMX.
Yeah, I would have picked, and was a DMX fan, mind you. I was a young girl having that. I shouldn't have been listening to any of that explicit content at all. And then now that you go back, you go,
ooh,
yeah. Should I have been?
You start listening to the music and the content. You was like, oh, really? It was like, oh, okay, but. I would say Snoop won because Snoop just has a bunch of hits that Snoop just has hits after hits after hits. The only thing I will say that DMX has the one up on is that they are DMX's songs. A lot of the songs that Snoop played, they were features.
That's true.
Right.
But I would say that Snoop has the better catalog. Just Snoop has the better catalog overall, and it ages better because you know that 90s grime hip hop, it has a limit to it.
Not everybody can relate to it.
Right.
Yeah, like,
survivor of the verses. And he ended up ending it exactly the way that most people thought it would end. He unleashed a full clip of music on Gucci Mane. Now, I don't know if we knew how epic this would be. The shots that were thrown, I don't know. So Speeds and Tim said it was all a rouge. We don't know if it was a rouge or not because of some other things that have happened after that versus that may or may not signal that it's been a ruse. But regardless of the case, it was epic. They was on Black People time. They started about an hour late. Okay, The camera was on true stadium concerts vibes. We was at least 30 feet away with the camera was at least 30 feet away. Okay, we could barely see them. They look like ants, but that's fine. Okay, but we were there for the epicness. They were throwing shots at each other. They played some of the diss records and diss albums. Like, I kept hearing the shots. I was like, "Woo, that was a shot." Okay, that was a shot fired. Okay, that was a shot. And he's like, okay. The shots that were being thrown. But the one that everybody is talking about is when Jeezy brought up wealth. And so then everybody turned into real estate researchers and started looking up his actual deals, and they found out that he doesn't own half of Atlanta. But that's fine. He still does have real estate deals. And regardless of that, he was dropping knowledge to people that wealth is different from having an expense.
So we had an election. Yeah, we did. We had an election this year. It was absolutely epic. It was historic. It was hilarious at times. We had the grumpier old men part 1 verse 3 part 2 debate where we saw Joe Biden and Donald Trump, two of the oldest candidates ever to run for the seat of presidency, act like the youngest people we've seen in our lives. So it's been amazing. Not only do we have a brand new president-elect who now has become the president, we also have a historic vice president, Madam Kamala Harris. So it has been historic all around. We even had the birthday party running under Kanye West, the first time that there's ever been a rapper run for president. So let's look back at all the madness, craziness, and amazement that happened in the election of 2020.
Now we know
this presidential thing was a shit show, if you ask me, this year. Like, I feel like, you know, like, we can make jokes and it's funny and we laugh, but when you think about democracy in America and you think about the fact that the people are supposed to vote and have a voice, and somebody's just going to be like, you know what, fuck all y'all voices. Who cares if you went out and voted? Like, if the people, what's the point of democracy if someone's just, as a president, is just going to turn around and be like, yeah, I'm not buying it, I'm gonna just do what I want, then the whole foundation of this country and the integrity of that, which it was already messed up, but like you just do it in a garbage. Yeah.
It's crazy to me, but it's also crazy that how easily we were willing to give up democracy. Like, people, just to be racist and just to go back to a past, they were willing to be constitutionalism and give up democracy at the same damn time. I'm like, how the fuck you do that shit?
Because they're just looking in the wrong direction. I feel like that's something that needs to be taught to people. Is just I've been in a lot of states. I've been in Florida and not Miami. I mean the boondocks. I'm in Pensacola. I'm 15 minutes away from Alabama. I lived in New York City for 10 years. I lived in Houston for a year. I went to Maryland. I can't really speak on that, but every place I went to was different. It was the way I was treated was different. Everything was different, no matter who the president was.
Necessarily. What is your response to those?
I'm gonna steal a quote from Trevor Noah.
Okay. It's okay. We can do that. We can do that here.
He says, those people always bring up like the countries where socialism went wrong, but they'll never bring up the corruption. They never bring up the corruption that helped lead it to that point. Like no country is all of anything. There's capitalism and socialism in every country. So, if you want to talk about because also if you start talking about like the corruption that actually made the socialism fail, it'll make people have to do this thing where they have to think about the corruption in America and how the corruption of capitalism.
We're actually hosting the Trump's town hall at the same time that Joe Biden's, but Joe Biden won the ratings. He won the ratings wars, which I was actually shocked because that was boring as fuck. But that's what it should be when it comes to politics. It should be very boring. But anywho, Trump decided that he was going to be in full Trump fashion. And is it me, or speaking of fashion, his makeup after post-COVID seems more orange. Like he was like in full orange face. I don't know if that's who that could be. Racist to Tony the Tiger or whatever. Like, but I think that it's problematic. It's very problematic. But anyway, Attorney General Barr said, no, there's nothing to see here, even though he's still talking about that too. I don't know, but I was so distracted because of the black girl in the back, and I'm glad that Saturday Night Live pointed it out because I thought it was just me. I thought I was the only person that's seen this damn girl in the back. Like, I'm like, what is going on with her? Is she having a seizure? She looked like a Make America silken diamond bobblehead. Okay, it was all this the whole time. All this, I'm like, I know your neck hurts. I know it's gotta hurt because he talking about just the craziest stuff ever. $400 million, not a lot of money. Like, girl, you ain't never had. You don't only got $400. You sitting there talking about, please. I was so distracted. I'm like, somebody get her, because I'm pretty sure she got some strings to hold her down. She was the black Pinocchio. I know she had some strings. Every time he moved, she moved. It was like ludicrous. When I move, you move, just like that. Like, I was convinced, okay, that she had strings. I'm just saying. Somebody needs to check on her. And speaking,
let's go to this break, and we will be right back, baby.
M.A.P.S Media Shop is now open. Shop M.A.P.S Media Show inspired merchandise and clothing is in spread shops. Shop all black girl brilliance gear along with millennials attire, and for the people of the people gear. Show that small media matters. Purchase today at millennials.us.
1960s redo, but this time the young people made sure that not only were they being heard, this was definitely being televised. We've seen more movement and more change towards a more just society. People realizing things that they've done in the past have been racist, potentially could be racist, and are being held to account. We now have seen the fifth and Black is Beautiful make a reemergence. So we want to pay tribute and look back at all of the work, all of the groundwork that young people and people in the movement have been making to make sure that everyone knows that Black Lives Matter too.
That shit. How that's possible?
I don't know. I feel like we had a whole civil rights movement in 2020. Like George Floyd death just turned. I think we are always had racism in America. Maybe white people don't know it, but black people do. You know what I mean?
They still
It's true.
confused.
It's true
They
because
still
like white people will be like, I don't see it. You know, because
Of course you
before
don't.
it was under the radar to some extent. It was very subtle, and some black people, we have become so accustomed to it. We're just like, that's how shit is, right? You know what I mean? Y'all eat first, we eat second. You follow me around the store, like that's normal shit for us. We live in certain neighborhoods, we can't live there. Like it's become so normal. And I think with George Floyd and all the protests we had this year, and the president's behavior, it really divided the country, and it really made us look like at our neighbors, at the people we go to work with, you know, at the environments we were in, and be like, yo, this is no longer below that radar. This is no longer subtle racism. This is just blatant, outright disrespect. And yeah, I don't think anything has even changed though.
It's going to take a long time before anything changes. No, now we were able to speak on racism because we got to talk about diversity, and now diversity actually means something, and we got to do something about it. So we're going to pretend like we did something so we can say we're not racist no more. So all of the others can enjoy their privilege. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to keep moving along. And then until they actually figure out what racism really is and stop pretending like it don't exist and sitting there and, I don't know, like they have this whole little internal dialogue with themselves that I just really can't understand. Like, I don't see it. Of course you don't see it because nobody's being racist towards you. You're the racist.
Right.
They live in a bubble. People choose not to see what they don't want to see. People choose not to be the bad guy. No one wants to be the bad guy, so they will do anything to be the good guy. But that's where we're at. We live in America. This is America. It's built on
racism, right?
But there's also, for me, that bothers me is okay, fine. There's white people that are racist, but there's also a lot of people who are in between that are complacent with racism and don't even know that people are being racist against them. You know, there's people that are like, well, I'm not black, so it's better than that. Right. You know, there's people that are like, it can't be that bad. But if you can only own the nail salon and the dry cleaners, that's a form of racism. If you can only live in certain neighborhoods that speak your language, that's a form of racism. When you can't hold higher power jobs in your community because of who you are and what you eat, that's a form of racism. So there's a lot of people from the color white to the color black. There's a lot of people in between who still feel it. And again, are just so complacent with, but that's just how it is in America.
What do you think is more thing?
Every time we just make a whole lot of noise and burn some shit down, but nothing changes. And then 2 months later, somebody else dies, and it's the same thing. I think we're almost in some ways desensitized to it.
I agree.
We are.
You know, and again, this time they were like, send out SWAT teams, send out the military. Like this time they was just like, yo, y'all don't like it, we gonna kill all of y'all. Like we can't change. The hardest part of this work is that we have to change the mentality of people.
Right.
While we live in a system that is made to oppress the people whose mentalities we have to change. So it makes it even harder.
Right. So how do we do that? You know what I mean? How do we can't change what people are teaching in their homes.
That's true.
We can't change what systems are in play. We can say, well, defund the police. It don't change the people that you hire.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so
overhaul of what the United States.
This whole entire United States government is shit. We need to start all over again. It said, I've been to the museum. Well, I also teach social studies sometimes. When they wrote all of this Constitution, they didn't write it for us.
They did not.
They wrote a bunch of white men who were rich, protecting the land that they live on. They didn't even write it for women. They didn't write it for their wives and their kids. They
didn't even write it for poor white men.
No.
How about that shit?
It said at the same time that a black person was considered 3/5 of a man. I don't even know where you came up with that number because it don't make no sense.
They pulled it out their ass.
So if you write something is every man is created equal, they wasn't talking about the slaves that they owned. I don't even understand white people when they be like, "Go back to your country, bro." You picked me up on the way here. You didn't come from here. You picked me up, and we came here together. How are you American and I'm African American, and we left together? We came in the same ride.
Let me be very clear to all. Black life matters. Now's the time to reject America's victimization of black people. It's time to show that America's generational blows wounded us. However, we are not a wounded people. Those blows only prepared us to be better versions of our ancestors. We stand today because they had to claw to humanity and walk through brutality. I speak to freedom today because they had to scream at silence. I'm ready. I'm ready to start the reform.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. America, are you? Of saying I'm tired.
Incarceration is another extension of that same policy and thought process. So when we talk about anti-blackness, white supremacy, please do not think about it in terms of individuals, right? And when you talk about pro-blackness, at the end of the day is, do I believe that black people should have the ability to live and thrive and be free and love themselves and show up as they are? If that's a yes, then you pro-black. And I don't feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's it. That's all. That's the conversation. So I'm pro-black every day because I'm black and I got a black mama and a black daddy, and I believe we should be able to exist.
I know I was on social media and there's a couple of people on there that like, no, black people shouldn't vote. We should withhold our vote. I don't think so. I think that we need to use our voice. I mean, we still have the Electoral College, which is a whole nother thing and whatever. But because if my voice not going to be heard, I get it. People think if my voice not going to be heard, why am I going to go out there? But the reality is,
let me jump in. So just to sum up what you're saying, Bernard, you believe that because cities that overwhelmingly have a high black population, because they're run by Democrats, that's what's causing the issue, and that if they were ran by Republicans, that things would be a lot better. Just to kind of sum up what you're saying.
That's a nicer version of what I was saying, because a good example here, in my city where I'm from, 150,000 individuals, there was a white mayor years ago. And the African American people just, oh my God, he was the best mayor in the world. And one day I said, well, what was so good about him? He was sicking dogs on black people. If you didn't pay your taxes, he arrested you. And that's what you guys have in your mind, that you need something like that to make this city better. That is sad. Where you now have you mentioned black pride, or you mentioned power to the people. The black people are so happy and elated. But if you tell them you're being robbed, you're being taken advantage of, you become the bad person. Because they have been trained by the Democratic people to just listen, we got you, we're going to give you a piece of chicken, and we're going to motivate you, and we're together. You cannot tell a black person in Baltimore, in Patterson, in Brooklyn that they are being taken advantage of and that they're being used, because then you become the problem and it's you. All you have to do is say, everything's good, we got this, and they're happy, and you're their brother, and you're their sister. She's shaking her head like, I'm ready to let loose on him.
What we believe in.
Okay.
What we say we believe in. We just kind of ride the wave. This looks good, just like it looked good in '68 Olympics. You know what I'm saying? It looked good. But at the end of the day, what kind of example are you, or what example are you setting? What are you trying to say? Let's just say this. He did this during the height of all this police brutality, which is actually been going on forever and ever. It's now being filmed. Media's
right. I'm not gonna hold that against him though. You know.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is just like, yeah, we're not gonna do any research on why we doing it. We're just gonna do it because black people are we coming emotional right now. You know what I'm saying?
You know you're about to piss a bunch of people off, right?
That's true.
You know, I'm just saying.
Black people are emotional. I'm emotional.
All people emotional?
Huh?
Now let's talk to Mr. Royce Massengill from Royce's Rant about what he thought about 2020.
But we have a guest from Millennials Anonymous. They actually were guests on Millennials Anonymous podcast. Now they're going to be a guest on M.A.P.S Media. We have to talk about 2020. It's been a crazy ass year, and I have to talk directly to them about politics because that's what he does. Hello, Mr. Royce Massengale. Welcome back.
What it do? What's good? What's good?
To
Can you hear me
M.A.P.S
good?
Media.
Am I straight?
You sound great. You sound great.
What's up?
What did 2020 mean to you? Like, what 2020? What did you learn? What did you love? What did you loathe?
I say, man, 2020. I like to say it's the year of vision, right? That's what I call it, the year of vision. You see things from all angles, even in your peripheral. So, like, metaphorically, it was like I felt like we saw too much. Like, it was really HD. It was all in our face. We had some unexpected events, unexpected deaths. Up and down numbers of coronavirus. It's just kind of hard to figure out what was real and what was not. I'm gonna keep it real. It really feels like a dream right about now. It feels like a dream. It feels like first of all, like, all of my favorite people died. You know what I'm saying? Legendary people. You feel me? Legendary people. Just think, the top of 22. It started with Kobe Bryant, and then it's like it's gonna end with Debo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and then this whole like political run too. Like, I thought it was confusing to me too. Like, at one point, I didn't know who to vote for. I really didn't, and I just had to go with my gut instinct. And like, I'm not going to sit there and tell people who I voted for, but it's not who they think it is, and it's not. It's nobody primary either, because I really just wanted to step outside and be like, let me try something different. Let me see what just being a rebel when I voted.
Okay.
I was being a rebel. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna vote just because I feel this way or this is a tradition. Like, I'm just gonna go a different way just because, and then let me find out about what I just did, because I feel like it wasn't hurting anything anyway. I think the person in office is who they wanted in office, and really, I didn't know how to feel about either one of them, to be honest with you.
Okay. I mean, that's what people feel about 2020. I think with 2020 on the political side, people just feel like they weren't being heard.
Yeah.
With police brutality, I feel like we did move there. What were your thoughts on that as far as police brutality? Do you feel like we made any movement at all from January up until December?
No,
not even a little bit.
I mean, it ain't. It's no different from what we've been trying to do. I really feel like even some of these organizations that are fighting against it are doing it for the wrong reasons too. I think it's been.
Wait a minute. Is that a shot at Black Lives Matter?
Yes, it is. It's a shot at Black Lives Matter. Because don't get me wrong, I care about our Black lives. I care about Black lives, and then on the other side, I just care about justice. Period. Like, yes. Give us free. Give us that.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you. I think that there is some turning of a blind eye in the African American community, but I think we can do both things at the same time. I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we can combat policing issues and also crime in predominantly African American areas. I think, we definitely want to hit on that too, because you have a whole platform. So it's you, and now you have not one but two other shows. So you are growing at a really rapid pace. So tell people about Royce's rant, or I guess it's Royce Is it Royce Production?
It's Royce's rant. Like, it's
okay.
It's singular, but it's plural too. You know what I'm saying? Because Royce's rant is like, think of it like a restaurant. You can come in and you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, how you feel. You know what I mean? But of course, I always have my Montel Williams moment where, I big myself up and then I talk my shit. You feel what I'm saying? That would be Royce's rant. But then people come into Royce's rant to speak. So generally, the show started off like that. And then we have two other entities under the Royce's Rant Network, which is the first one is with Dr. Anatomy, aka Herschel Williams. It's called The Prescription, and he talks everything sex, relationships, interracial, all that stuff like that. He covers that kind of area. Then you got a boy Nino Black, you know what I'm saying? He's got a segment on there every other Tuesday. It's called Black Thoughts. And he speaks everything black, from relationships to social matters, even into politics and stuff like that. He brings, doctors and scholars and stuff in and keeps it 100% black. So the network kind of covers all areas, from black people.
You're missing a black woman, though. You're missing a woman.
They're coming. I just hope that they can be consistent, though.
Well, Wait a fucking minute. What the fuck was that? A knock on women?
No, that was a specific thing with
two
women that we have.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
See. Hold on now.
Gotcha.
See, that's what the media do.
I thought it was a knock.
No, don't be like them. Be like you.
I'm being like me, and that's what I do. I ask questions.
Perfect.
And you answered.
There you go.
So
that's how you clear it up, folks. Real journalists, they do shit. They ask questions.
You got to ask the hard questions and you got to answer them. So we get one or two more platforms from Royce's Rant by 2021. So we're looking forward. And you guys do movies and stuff too. Is that under Royce's Rant or is that something different?
It's now Royce's Rant is that whole entity now, because we used to be called Face the Truth Films.
Okay.
That ran its course due to us signing a couple of artists, so we couldn't be a video company signing an artist. We had to be a whole entity where like we got music production, we got short films, which we have a few accolades for those and been nominated for a few, black horror flicks. One that we're in the process of finishing called The Hit List, starring our star artist Marcus Pendleton, aka K Mars with 3 Z's.
Okay.
Young guy, you know what I'm saying? Good guy. He's gonna be the next him. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna talk. I actually think it's somebody that came on Mass Media that I think you probably need to talk to anyway, because I see a connection. But we appreciate you. So thank you for coming to our recap. I guess it's not really a party, but I put party in the name. So recap party. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
We had a special guest. Let's see who in the building.
The guest, Marissa J. from the Queen's Table podcast is here, and she's going to be giving us some information about what 2020 meant to her and what she learned, what she hated, what she loved, what she would do over again, all of those things about 2020 and what it meant to you, because 2020 is out of here.
Yeah. Bye-bye. So I don't know, I guess 2020, there were a lot of lessons that I learned this year. One of which was, patience. I had to learn how to be patient, and a very hard pill to swallow is that I can't control everything. And even though I want to, as badly as I want to control everything, I can't. But things start to fall into place once you let some of that stuff go, let go of the things that you can't change. So one of the things that I did start doing earlier this year, I went out and I got a journal and called Bright Ideas, but I started writing in this journal, and not as like a diary or anything, but gratitude, everything that I've been thankful for. I wake up every morning and sometimes it's just one thing, my baby, all my babies. And that's like the only thing that I write down some days. Some days I'll fill up 2-3 pages, but all in all, I try to make sure that I write down the things that I am grateful for, the things that I do have, because not everybody has been as blessed as I have been, even though I've been struggling. Even though I've been in some pretty tough situations this year, I know people personally who have been through way worse. So that's one of the things that I took away, tried to take away from this year, is that, I can't control everything, and that I just need to be as grateful as I possibly can for what little bit that I do have. And once I started doing that, I started to realize there are so many different opportunities that I could go for, and it's been working out. I've been wading through this year a lot easier than what most people have been. And if all of this stuff had happened, 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't be able to have gotten to the position that I'm getting at. I'm not there just yet, but I'm close.
Yeah, and what would you say, because you also do, you didn't hit on the politics or the political side of it. On your podcast, the Queen's Table podcast, I don't know if you consider it a political podcast, but you do hit on or touch on the politics side. I mean, 2020 was big on politics. It was a political year. A lot of the things were unprecedented. We had never seen it before. What are your thoughts on what happened as far as the political side? And do you think we're moving in a positive direction?
I can only hope that we're moving in a positive direction, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, as far as the show, I've been doing a lot of cultural stuff and whatnot. And like you said, this year just really kind of brought politics to the forefront. One thing that I have realized is that it doesn't end at the election. That's where the work begins. And so I've gotten myself affiliated with some organizations, and I'm happy to see what's coming next, because even though I didn't plan for that, even though I didn't plan to go on the political side of things, that's where this show and where this year ended up taking me. And so I'm taking full advantage of that. Again, I can't control everything. And I couldn't control how much I had to talk about politics this year. It is what it is. But since doing that, I've been placed in front of a lot of people that can really make a difference. And we're working together to get some stuff done. You know, you can't continue to talk about the community and the problems that we have in the community without creating some sort of solution. And so when you leave politics behind at the voting booth, that's where the problems begin.
What are your thoughts on where the Black Lives Matter movement is, where the Black movement or upward mobility is right now?
Well, the main thing that I want to focus on is creating transparency in the message. There are a lot of stuff that we say all the time that isn't very transparent, not as transparent as people would like to think. For instance, defund the police. There's about 20 different definitions as to what people think defund the police means. And so we need to start working on being clear in our messaging. And so I'm hoping that we're going towards that path. But, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again and I'll continue to say it. If you don't have a Black agenda, I don't have anything for you as far as politics go. And so that's where I'm focused on. There was a show on Netflix called Patriot Act. And the host of that show, he had mentioned something really important. I think it was either the end of last year or the very beginning of this year, where he said we have entirely way too many tabs open in our mind's browser. Okay. And so sometimes we need to close out some of these tabs. We can't be passionate about everything. Everything that we encounter, you know, with women's rights and cultural issues and PETA and all of these things that are important. Don't get me wrong, they are important, but we can't be passionate. We can't be gung-ho on everything.
Feeling like maybe 2020 wasn't the best lighting for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Well, I'm going to say something that's going to be a little bit of an unpopular opinion here. Some people don't like the Black Lives Matter movement because they were too much, too militant, too this, too that. I don't think we went far enough.
Okay. So you feel like there should have been more rioting, more unrest, more of that, and not less of it?
Not necessarily with the rioting and with the violence and stuff, which I don't believe that was Black Lives Matter anyway. If you really take a look and see who all was inciting all of the violence, it wasn't Black Lives Matter. I'll just leave it at that. But what we needed to do, we already have the awareness. Okay, I think I've mentioned this once, maybe twice before. We already have the awareness. Everybody already knows where we stand at this point. So for me, I'm no longer trying to recruit people. You're either here or you're not. So the time for recruitment is over with. It's done. It's over with. I'm speaking specifically to the people who are already here. What's the next step? What do we do now? Where do we take this? We can't just be angry all the time. We can't just be protesting all the time and yelling all the time. We have to start making some real changes. And going back to the 60s, the civil rights movement of the 60s, they didn't stop at protesting. They went to their government officials and they got laws changed. We need to do that. We need to make change. We have the power to. We had the platform. And then we just let everybody else take it and run with it. And we didn't hold on to it. We kept giving our platform to voices that were not Black voices. We needed to have held on to that because we really had an opportunity to make our voice.
Give us like a rundown about Queen's Table Podcast so people can know where to find it, and then you describe it. I know I kind of described it, but you probably better at describing it than me. And then I also want you to just tell us, where do you think, what are you looking forward for 2021? You don't have to do a New Year's resolution for us, but where do you think 2021 is going for the Queen's Table Podcast, and or for you just in general?
Okay. Well, you can find me on Instagram at TQT Podcast. I'm also on Facebook at the Queen's Table Podcast. I have been starting to do video episodes, so and I'm in the process of putting those video episodes up on Instagram, so hopefully that'll run a little bit smoother than what Facebook has been doing. But and I also joined Clubhouse. Here's the thing, I joined the Android version of Clubhouse. So if you've got Android
and
you downloaded Clubhouse on there, I'm at Marissa J. I'm sorry, no I'm not. I'm at, listen, I don't know. You can find me by just Marissa J. I just downloaded the app last night and I'm still playing around with it and whatnot. So we're going to see where that goes. However, 2021 is going to take this show to some serious, major changes. And I'm really excited for it. So we've got video episodes coming out. I'm going to be doing seasons now. So that way people can know. Like I say on my show all the time, I put out episodes like Beyonce puts out visual albums whenever the fuck I feel like it. So I am aware of the fact that people do need to know when is she coming out with another episode. So we're going to be a little bit more on time. It's still going to be, every other Saturday-ish.
Okay.
11-ish.
Okay. I can dig it.
Subscribe and make sure that you follow me on Instagram and the Queen's Table Podcast on Facebook, so that way you can get those notifications. But we're going to start doing seasons. They will not be themed seasons because, as we all know, we don't know what's about to happen. Like, there could be anything could happen at this point. So we're not going to be doing themed seasons, but there will be seasons. And at the very end of each season, I'm going to have something major. And the last thing that I want to mention, incorporating into the show, is that with every episode, I will be crocheting. And I'll be crocheting a piece, and all of these pieces, they'll make sense at the end of the season, so make sure that you watch. But this is something that I have been working on my last episode.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That is so cool. I can't do that at all.
It's just an area rug. I just moved into my new place. I absolutely love it. I have all hardwood floors. However, I don't like to get out of bed and touch cold floors. So,
okay, got you.
Yeah, so that's what this is. And I'll be recording no longer in the studio, but I will be recording in my bedroom. So I'm working on getting that fixed up, and it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be really dope. But make sure that you follow along, because we're gonna be doing some pretty big things at the end of each season, and you'll want to follow along for that.
Okay, that's fantastic. I love it. So make sure you follow her. Make sure you go. I also have Android. I do not have an Apple. So I will find you on the Android knockoff version of Clubhouse. We will be on there together, because that's also what I have. So I appreciate you coming. We look forward to all the big things that you're doing. I appreciate your stances, your point of views, all of that. So thank you so much for coming to our... It's not really a party. It's more of a recap of 2020.
Thank you so much for having me. I always love being on your show and talking to you. You're so amazing. I really love it. I really love it.
Oh, thank you. It's so dope. I appreciate you.
We now need to go back and look through the year of all of the viral content that has happened. Let's see the top 10 trending topics of the year through the eyes of podcasters. What have been on the lips of podcasters through 2020? What viral videos, viral content, new dances, new dance songs, all of those things that have happened throughout 2020.
I don't know. She put raisins no, I don't know, because she did put raisins in her potato salad or whatever.
Who did?
Kamala.
Did she?
No, it's stuffing. Raisins in her stuffing.
Oh, she watching what's her name on TV? Martha Stewart.
Yeah, she put raisins in it. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because
she's judged.
Energy, like it just seemed like his wife is doing more for prison reform than he doing with this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like, why you do this?
Them two black ladies is doing it. But I think it was with his sweater.
I feel like his perceptions of reality, because he was like, I don't think I've ever been pulled over by the cops. And I don't ever think
did we see him get pulled over?
He was like, I don't think I ever experienced racism. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Lil Wayne?
Yeah. That the one, you know, that he looked like the guy from what's the movie? Gizmo, when it got wet.
He looked like a gremlin.
With the hair.
He looked like you.
Yeah, that
one. No, he looked like the gremlin.
Yeah, him. He said he never experienced racism. He don't know what everybody's talking about.
He looked like the leader in 2. Remember the one that had the hair? You remember that?
Yeah, with the glasses on. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
ain't enough crack, push people and things like that, and it just went from 0 to 100. I think it was rough. I think that a warning would have been good. I think that his intellectual property, like you said, he lost a couple shows. I think that was a lot, considering that again, those same people who are geniuses and having these tough conversations, it's gonna hurt some people having tough conversations.
I think he knew though, because he was talking to Professor Griff. He knew what he was getting into when he sat in the seat this year. But Dave, he said, you don't have to always be funny. You just need to be interesting. And that's why I think a lot of his specials that came out this year, they weren't funny, but they were intriguing as fuck. Like I sat there with pins and needles watching all of the things that he came out with this year.
And his message is always consistent though, and that's the thing I appreciate too. He always comes through with a real ass message. Like he don't never change who he is through his set or anything like that on, trying to sell you off of the fact that he's supposed to be funny. Like he don't never do that. It's just him. He's the most authentic person that I've seen in a long time doing stand-up.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. So kudos to that black man.
And speaking of just kind of running down some of the viral videos that went crazy, all the Karens this year.
I resent that.
Oh yeah. The white Karen.
I'm gonna have a long talk with my mama when we get off this.
Oh man, yeah, you can't. You got delivered the wrong name. Not for 2020.
No, people send me memes all day long.
White Karen snapped this year.
That's okay, because every time a bill collector call my house, I'll be like, my name is Karen and I'm gonna write a letter.
Yeah, Lizzo got backlash because Lizzo was loving her body. Now she's trying to lose weight, so now people hate Lizzo because she's losing weight. Poor Lizzo, she can't win at all. The woman that set her boyfriend's car on fire, and then got her eyebrows blued off. Also went viral this year. The Wayfair selling kids video.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Viral this year. That was fucking hilarious. People were like, "Oh, look, it's a cabinet and it's something." I was like, now I can't use Wayfair. Now I can't shop at Wayfair. Fuck that. The demon sperm lady went viral. The doctor that Trump had brought in to tell people to put bleach in their eyes or
drink it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. that was fun. Oh, yeah, remember that time?
Remember that time the president told people to drink bleach? Remember that time?
Oh, God. I have to say, I think that's my favorite moment of 2020. Like, I think I watched all of the memes on the drinking bleach. Like, all of the images, everything. I've seen it.
Allegedly. The WAP music video went viral, especially because of Kylie Jenner. And they were upset about Kylie Jenner. Speaking of which, Snoop Dogg, he said women should put their WAP away, which I'm like, Snoop, you made all this money off girls going wild and doggy style, and now you telling women to put it away?
Yeah, because guys don't like when their girlfriend does it. Like when somebody else do it.
Right.
But his boss lady ain't doing that. His wife ain't doing that.
No, she about to leave his ass.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
Some more.
We have the post that recently went viral of Kevin Samuels, a YouTuber, telling a black woman who makes six figures that she is not attractive enough to get a six-figure nigga.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
Nope, so she can get it herself. Okay. Don't need the nigga. Got the six figure.
I was so annoyed by that. Like, why she even go on that show in the first place? Like, how you gonna go and ask somebody if you about to get the man, and then like you will comment on the way she look on top of that? Like, why was she allowing herself to be exploited that way?
If she has six figures and she's ugly, someone gonna get with her regardless.
You should have talked to her, because obviously she ain't know who to talk to.
Get her on the show.
Don't tempt me, Karen. You know I'm a researcher and I will find her, and she be on Say It Loud next week. It is disappointing, and we'll talk about this at another day. And also, Will and Jada went viral with the entanglement.
Entanglement. I want to have one of those.
An entanglement with August. An entanglement with August.
You cheated. No, I didn't. It was an entanglement. It doesn't sound better. I'm gonna make a t-shirt. You're gonna see it on my website tomorrow. Entangle. I'm gonna entangle real quick. I'll be back.
Young stallion, that bitch.
Yeah.
I love Meg. I love Meg. I just want to throw that out there, but I can't with that song. I just fucking can't.
But that WAP too. If I hear a little kid singing WAP, I'm gonna be like, "Excuse me."
I love WAP.
I feel like there's an age bracket for WAP. And then when it gets to a certain age, it's like, Marcus, darling, let's have an entanglement. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I feel like if you're 19 and 20 and 22 talking about WAP, 30, 35, I'm 42 years old. I'm not talking about no WAP. I'm talking about I finna work in the morning.
Slap. And one said a semi-lubricated ass pussy by the time.
Yeah. This is marinated grown folk shit.
Not the semi.
You know what I'm saying? But don't laugh at me. Carol fucking Baskin.
Oh yeah.
Yo, that was the worst piece of trailer park trash white. I don't even know what I was watching, but that shit was entertaining. I been watched it, and every time I see that man and his big ass mustache, I die laughing. I want to get him out of jail.
Free Joe.
I fucks with Joe. I mean, a lion could eat him, but that shit was funny. That made for good TV. Like, we was on lockdown, ain't nothing else to watch. I never watched TV. I binge watched that. I don't even know what in the trailer park that was.
Yeah, why can't I say nigger? Why can't I say nigger?
But he need his own show. Oh, he's entertaining as fuck. I don't care what nobody say.
He's really entertaining.
So the chip was hot?
Yes. Yeah. It was really hot.
Yeah,
like ghost pepper hot.
Right.
Visually
packaged.
So it was 2 acres, right? So the one lady was African descent, right? I think kids be sitting there like, "Ooh, Dad, this spicy."
Eat it.
I don't want this spicy mashed potatoes no more.
Everything spicy.
You used to it. Eat it. Put it in your mouth. Chew it up.
So regular spicy.
Say it with your chest.
Put it in your mouth.
But I'm not eating no damn ghost peppers. I'm not getting the extra spicy sauce from New Orleans.
No Scoville units for you.
I'm not sweating when I'm eating my shit. No, don't. That sounds so uncomfortable to me. I'm not doing it.
You gotta sign a waiver just to eat it. No, I ain't doing that.
Right,
shit.
I'm good.
If you gotta put a name to something like Ghost, I'm not eating it.
No,
I'm good.
So he said it cleans the system
and burns on the way out too. But
burns like mommy.
My husband will eat it. Try anything, the spiciest shit ever. He'll be sitting there. He'll eat it. He'll be sitting there sweating.
Yeah,
all of that.
Yeah.
All of that.
Man, no. Booty hole be on sizzle.
No. Yes. Anyway, and SZA had to come and clarify some news because Drake dropped a song with 21 Savage and Metro Boomin's Mr. Right Now is the name of the song, and he said that he was dating SZA back in 08, and people was like, wait a minute, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Wait, wait, Drake, she was a minor. And she jumped out. She was like, nah, actually I started dating him in 09. It would have made me over 18. So all is good. You know, he wasn't a pedophile or anything. So I don't know, and I really at this point don't care. And Mr. Tekashi 69 is back in the news again. It kind of got a little bit buried in the sauce because of all the things going on. He allegedly overdosed on caffeine diet pills, but his attorney has come out and saying that that's not true. He's saying that that is false. That is not what happened to him, but he was. Okay. Oh, so she ain't never been played. Forget you, Ashley.
You know what?
Forget you, Ashley. Guru. What's the craziest thing you ever did for love?
Oh God, let's see. The craziest thing I ever did was pack up and move all of my belongings to Chicago. Okay. And to live with my estranged wife, who had a boyfriend.
Really?
But I didn't know that going in though.
Okay.
I wasn't that crazy.
Goddamn.
But once I found out that she had a boyfriend, I should have left but didn't. So I stayed there for 4 years, thinking that she would take me back at some point, and she didn't. Aww. And so, yeah, it was the craziest thing I've ever done.
So you had a roommate?
Yeah.
Y'all had bunk beds?
No, actually, we had futons. Actually,
you slept on the top, she slept on the bottom.
Yeah, no, yeah, she slept on the bottom, all right. But it went under me.
He said him. He said he got the top bunk, you got the bottom bunk.
No, it was so much more room for extra activities.
No, yeah, it was so much. I could have did cartwheels in that piece. That's how. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the craziest thing I've ever done. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like some people old now. They showed the new clips today of Eddie Murphy and them coming to America. The new pictures out.
They should not be doing that either. That is a no-go for me.
No, I want to see that.
Why didn't anybody tell Eddie he should have worked out first or put on a weight?
Eddie,
no. Because Eddie's ass is old. It ain't but so much working out he can do. Like, he need a whole surgical procedure to get him to look like something.
I'm like, but they tying the belt like underneath the belly.
You don't like a man with a little pooch. Pooch.
Not Eddie Murphy. No, not Eddie Murphy. Eddie
like, he's messing up the whole, like, the boomerang Eddie. You know, like, no.
Maybe it's
like,
a prosthetic. Maybe it's a prosthetic stomach. Maybe, because
I want the original Eddie.
Okay.
I don't want this 65 Bengay Eddie.
No, they should not have done that. When they said, Eddie, do you want to do this? He should have said no.
One of our affiliates on M.A.P.S Media on millennials.us to hear how you can get
for new customers only. Receive 2 months of club pricing plan free, a $10 value. Get 50% off your digital audiobook purchases, a free premium audiobook, exclusive discounts and offer, and much, much more. Over 80,000 titles to choose from, with special code on our website millennials.us.
We had several different documentaries from Mommyhood. We had Dads Do It Best. We also had the brand new documentary that just came out, Weighted Crown. We have done so much this year. We're going to look back.
Everything good, now we only pop bubbles.
Actually have taken up a campaign to help the Boys and Girls Club of America. So they're trying to get more viewership so that they can reach their $1,000 mark. So let's help them do that by supporting Durf and Dylan.
Godspeed. Yeah, I mean, do you have any other thoughts on that? I think I got all mine out there. Mm-hmm. People say, "Oh, I love watching sports. It's a way to get away from my life. Oh, it's a distraction from everything. I love it." Mm-hmm. So as soon as politics comes into sports, as soon as there's like a boycott of the players or a strike, as soon as something from the real life sinks into sports, people get mad. They get mad because it's supposed to be their escape. But guess what? These are still Americans playing these sports. These are black men playing and women playing these sports. Yeah. Because the WNBA also postponed their games as well. I know one of the tennis players was supposed to not play, but she's playing now. I saw that.
So let's hear some dope discussions with Erica and hear from this brother and sister from another mother.
Tequila, you know, make sure I sync up my beats here. Beats so I can, make sure I don't have no background noise or nothing like that. So that's usually what I do. I'll take a shot or two as we're going to kind of keep loose during the podcast. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I get sober, and then when I get sober, I don't talk as much stuff. So I gotta make sure that I keep a steady stream of intoxication while I'm doing it.
Crazy. I got all I need right here.
Dylan from On and Off the Field. We just got done winning the Next Best Podcast competition from M.A.P.S Media, so we just want to say thank you. When I say we, I mean me and Ellie. Say thank you, everyone, for voting for us. She doesn't know words yet, but thank you. And yeah, it's just one small step for us. We're going to get better. And just keep watching. Appreciate it. I'm going to throw it over to Durf. I know he has some thank yous. And say bye, Ellie. She's camera shy. We'll work on that.
Thank you, Dylan. Hey everyone, it's Durf, and I just want to take a minute to say thank you to all of our fans that voted for us and helped us win the M.A.P.S Media Next Best Podcast competition. Without our fans, we wouldn't be able to do what we do effectively each week, and your love and support means so much to us. I also want to say thank you to Dylan for having the confidence in our show and entering us into this competition in the first place. For me, this competition has been a lot of fun, definitely keeping us on our toes from week to week with all the different challenges. So, thank you again, everyone, and as always, for Season 3, protect your nuts.
That weight is heavy, sis.
Is the pretty doll. Which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and he has two eyes.
Yeah, which one looks like?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
This Black is Beautiful moment is a newer concept, and no one knows this better than Black women. Black people spend a staggering $2.51 billion on hair care products alone. Black women make up 86% of the ethnic beauty market. We're definitely buying, and we're buying fast. We set the trends, and they take them and sell them back to us at twice the rate. According to the Black feminist theory, the devaluation of the U.S. Black woman is rooted in the institution of American slavery. Per the Journal of Black Psychology, Black women's bodies were routinely violated for others' profit and pleasure without recourse or protection. During the slave era, negative and controlling images
a less than acceptable viewpoint on immigration, and
their president is saying that they're bringing in rapists. So
right, and then
they're going
also,
to think that.
Yeah. So, but also they're saying that they're taking jobs, their own welfare programs that are not available to other poor people. I had a boss at one point,
and I was in court every other week for something.
Chris, I was going to say the same thing.
What do you say?
But I wasn't going to interrupt the day.
What? Get out of here. I think the child support laws are by state. See, I see where Chris is going.
I changed it poor and black father.
It wasn't the same thing.
Or black father.
Poor or black. But for poor, we can't win. And I was poor. My baby I was 16.
Okay, I'll change it to poor fathers.
When I was 16, my baby was born. I didn't have a job. And so instantly I got behind. And there was no catching up. There was none of that. So as a poor black man, child support rules are really, really hard. And I'm 45. And I'm still feeling the remnants
of child support
loss. Yes.
From she 27, so it was like
out of the system. But those 5 or 6 years that I didn't have a job because I was a baby, I was still in high school. You got behind because when she was born, her mama got WIC, AFDC, food stamps, all that. And so back then, you had to pay all that back on top of your order.
Well, yeah, because they don't want, if you have a child, they don't want other taxpayers paying for your
and I
kid.
Get it. Totally understand. I'm just saying that I'm still feeling their remnants. So we were talking, I think it was last week, about the stimulus stuff. And if you owe child support, you don't get that check. Which I feel like is unfair. It's an unfair thing. Like, we struggling too.
I get that.
So how
go ahead, Ashley. I see you. She looking like double dutch. She about to jump in there.
Come on, Ashley. Because I've been looking for a fight all morning. Let's go.
I'm just saying, it's a whole person that needed to be raised. Like, you don't get to wait 5-6 years to raise the person that was created just because you was in a situation. That person didn't ask to be here. You know, so you have to feed the child. You have to put a roof over the child.
I totally understand that. I'm 16. Stop it. Just stop. Just stop, Ashley. I was 16. I was 16.
Hi, Richard.
Hey, Richard. How you get a job at 16? Just stop.
I'm waiting to do
So you telling me? So you're telling me?
I worked when I was 15.
Stop.
I worked when I was 15 and
the bell E round one knockout.
They stop.
Neutral corner.
1 2
Neutral corner.
3.
You can't talk to me about it. You're not a man. You haven't lived it. You can't talk to me about that. You got an opinion. I get it.
But I'm not saying that.
I get it, but you can't tell me about that. I live that.
I know. I'm not saying that you
Next
didn't.
topic. Next topic.
So I think that. So here.
And that was and 30 years later, I still remember that like it was yesterday. I think that having a father in the household teaches you things whether you want that taught or not. Meaning, my father led by example, so I watched him. He never put hands on my mother. So when I grew up, I knew that was something I would never do. I would never put hands on a woman. The things that leadership is something that you learn by doing, but you also learn by watching. And so I think tremendous impact having my father in the household. It was amazing to be from Baltimore, west side of Baltimore, Emerson Village. So I grew up in a 2-parent household, which brings me love. I was raised in the church, which gives me the spirituality. Emerson Village is the heart of Baltimore, the street of Baltimore. So I got the urban, and then I went to college and got a couple degrees and got the education piece. And I think all of those things were just having the village.
Now,
I was born in Jamaica, Queens, in New York, where she
till like my teens, and that's when I discovered that I had a voice and I could sing. And so from there I was trained in opera, Broadway type of styles, and then I was like, okay, I really want to take this seriously.
But I got it from one of my friends in the group chat I'm in, because I was asking everybody like, what's a good stage name I should have, and then someone said that.
With his very melodic tones and emotional lyrics, he is forging a lane that gives the ladies something to twerk to and the men something to bump with. MC Drip first was introduced to music from his well-known DJ dad Cochise, one of Cleveland's most popular DJs.
It was cool because he always DJ at like little events that he'll take me and my older brother to. Yeah, I guess he motivated me to do my own music because, you know, it runs in the family bloodline.
Oh, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
All right, good, because here's the thing. One of the things that we noticed, we was like, look, there's some cool ass motherfuckers that nerd out and geek out. So it's like, it's not what you think. It's not, you know, what you think. And that's why we did kind of like put this on the forefront. And it's funny because when we go to these comic book conventions and these anime conventions and we cover it. And, you know, when we meet people, as soon as we tell them what it's about, people immediately gravitate to it because they're like, yeah, you know, that's what I do when I'm watching anime or when I'm playing video games. I got this hardcore hip hop or this boom bap hip hop playing in the background or whatever the case may be. So it's like there's
Alexa, do you think Black Lives Matter?
That is very true. That is very true. No, not in this country. And unfortunately, under the leadership that we have now, we're not seeing a lot of that. But he's also drumming up a lot of racism.
But even more so why we need to vote. I hear more Black Lives Matter, but I don't hear Black Lives Matter and we should vote.
Okay. That is, well, there's some pushback to that. Like, there's some black people out there that believe...
Some is not enough to win.
That's true. Some people believe, you know, I don't believe this, but there are some people that believe that the vote doesn't matter. They're saying that look at all the things, and people will say, well, you know, people were still getting killed by the police under President Barack Obama, and vice versa. So some people are a little skeptical about voting. I understand the importance of it, but there's a lot of young people that are out there like, I don't know if my vote really matters.
Your vote does matter because they haven't educated themselves. Anybody says that has clearly no education about historical, clearly no intellectual capability to understand the importance.
The paint. That's why I have on my beret so that Uncle Clifford know that I support the paint. Okay.
Right. Yeah, like the pink is great. And so I remember getting a call. I was like, wow, like I booked it now, you know, I gotta be around all these you know, beautiful women who are doing, you know, their job, and the actors and the actresses, you know, killing it. Like they're really killing it. And it's like, you know, we built this level of family and respect for each and every single one of each other. So it wasn't even nothing.
Okay. What was your biggest challenge? Because this is, I would assume, your biggest role yet.
My biggest challenge. What would be my biggest challenge? Oh, the accent.
I was gonna ask you because you're in New York. I don't hear an accent. Yeah,
I'm from New York. That was the biggest challenge for me, because I'm not from Mississippi. So I had to really study. Like I really studied, and I walked around my whole campus for like a good month, like talking in the accent.
You are married to someone who is a legend.
Oh, that part.
Yeah, a legend, a legendary in the R&B game, without a doubt, hands down, for 15 years. So for those of you that may not know, she is married to Ricky Bell from New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe. How do you maintain especially in Hollywood, how do you maintain a marriage for that long? And how has his experience actually helped you in the music industry?
Okay, so that's a two-part question.
It is.
Since we were on the music, I'll start with the music and then I'll lead into how we've stayed together. He is like my biggest inspiration. I don't know if you've ever seen a New Edition or Belle Biv DeVoe concert, but it is a game changer, life changer, because these guys have so much energy. They dance from beginning to end. Everything they do is for their fans. They love fans, and their fans are so diehard. And the NE family is so beautiful. When you experience one of those concerts, you're like, okay, I better bring my A game. I better really be about this music, or what am I even doing? Because I'm always thinking, man, I want Mike Bivins to like say my stuff's good, you know. So Or like I want Ricky, Mike, and Ron like to be like, oh, good job, baby. So I'm always working hard because I know how hard these guys work. They work so hard. Brooke Payne is like the best. Like just seeing how he's worked with them, and they literally will still do 4 to 8 hour rehearsals.
Oh wow! Oh, them Virginian cops though. That's a different kind of them
Georgia.
sheriffs.
That's a different beast there.
Coming from Georgia, man, it was like I'm an easy target. You know, it's just if you two black guys in a van, they just got to see what's up. I'd rather them say what y'all black dudes doing in the van than just making up stuff. You know, they make up stuff. I had cops unscrew everything in my. I had like a custom cargo van when I first started doing colleges a lot. They unscrewed everything in my van, ran like cameras. They just swore I had dope, and it was just. Then when they found out I'm a comedian, they want to talk and be cool and shit. They're like, "You gonna talk about this on stage?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna talk about your ugly ass."
Yeah, because them Virginia guys, they be coming out of trees and manholes. Like, where did you come from?
And bring, I think, a real perspective of what prison life is from somebody who's been there, who's, like you said, not glorifying it. Because, you know, it's almost like we've actually been kind of like, you know, kind of hoodwinked because of our direction. If we were, a lot of the channels that started after us, because they pushed the prison rape, they pushed the gang stuff and the tattoos. See, I don't want to me, I look at that as ignorance, you know, to try to, you know, push these type of agendas. I think that's the problem. So we do everything total opposite. And like you said, we don't glorify prison. It's funny you said that because we've had opportunities where we've tried to, you know, pitch the show to be a mainstream show. And one of the guys who was a producer said, you know what, Herc, I love your show, but you guys glamorize prison. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, everybody you show, they're successful. They got, you know, their own business, their own, you know, their own thing going. And, you know, people at home, they feel like the system's not working if you guys are all doing better than them. So you got to show the people too who are on the brink of going back, the guy who's frustrated because he can't get a job. And I'm like, damn, dude, this is crazy. You mean, that's all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, so you want me to, yeah, you got to throw a couple of those guys in there because then it gives the show a little bit more, you know, diversity. And I'm like, this is not going to work. So our show hasn't been picked up, and that's one of the reasons why, you know, our show doesn't fit with mainstream because the people.
I do a podcast called Did You Miss Me Podcast with me, Billy Terrells, my frat brother, and Kevin Damfood do a podcast, man. I think you're a dope storyteller, and I think it'd be dope if we could, you know, sit down on the couch and just tell a story. Say let. When you want to get started? Tomorrow. So I told him, I want to get started tomorrow. Again, I jump on shit when it's hot. The story is going to be, I don't know what Billy's going to say when he sits on the couch. He doesn't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what damn fool's going to say. Nobody knows anything. We keep it as organic as possible.
Wow.
And yeah, we just go. We've never discussed that ever.
You don't even write down the topics. Like here's what.
No. Bill Bellamy has to try to make me when I do a TV set. The only way I write it out is if the studio says or the network says, "Hey, we need to know what you're going to talk about." And I usually at first I would just write out.
So,
you know, for real. I mean, obviously, you know, like how I'm saying that he don't remember what happened at the platinum party is like, for real. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's like, I mean, yeah, other than that, yeah, you know, man, it's such a nice day outside. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it's like, I mean, for real, because it's like I already have to deal with like today, like this morning. You know, I see a post, and I'm like, I gotta deal with people like saying I'm not in the group when nobody can go nowhere and say where I said I'm not in the group no more.
Wow. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like no, like you can't, like, you know, if this was an investigation, you could go nowhere and find no information and say I'm not in the group no more. So, you know, it's stuff like that where it's like, you know, I gotta namaste these niggas real quick.
Yes, yes, namaste.
You know, and just be like,
so I'm pretty excited.
Okay, yeah, and I absolutely love it. And was it a mandatory requirement that everybody was a rapper or could rap?
No, and here's the crazy thing: is just like everybody is such a utility player. Like Angie is not a rapper, but she raps better than a lot of rappers, which is pretty interesting. L'Oreal used to rap. She says she's retired. I'm like, no, you're gonna do an EP or something. It's gonna happen.
I know that's right.
And Billy Sorrells is like also a utility player as well, whereas like he came from like he's a comedian, and sometimes when you're a comedian, you know how to mimic things, and he can mimic rap well enough to pull off being a rapper.
Yeah, and he's a comedian too. I was like, what? Like, he's dope. He's really dope. Shout out to Billy.
Yeah, Billy Sorrells, man, a homie.
And speaking of comedian, what made you want to do stand-up comedy?
Well, I was getting pushed into it a lot. People were like, I hear you on the radio. You funny, man, when you're doing a comedy show. And I'm like, I'm not a comedian. I just make observations. If you laugh, you laugh.
Right.
Kind of the same voices like Mace. Like, if you dance, you dance. But then I started taking it more seriously. And me and a partner of mine.
What stood out to you?
So I like Hamilton when that came out, and then I wrote a children's book this year.
Oh, congratulations!
Tell everybody about your book.
Huh?
Tell them about your book. You said it, but you ain't plugged it. You got to plug it.
Oh yeah, it's called Ace's Medicine. It's coming out January 2020. It's to educate
2021.
2021. Yes, 2020 is ending. So January 2021. And it's to educate children and staff and parents about medical cannabis. So a lot of the schools in different states, like here in Maryland, they're allowing kids to medicate with medical cannabis. So I feel like it's really important. Kids talk, and you want them to be able to know what's going on with their friends, and you don't want people saying, "Hey, you're a drug user" or anything like that. So.
And tell us what a cannabis nurse solution is, Ashley. Since we talk about your book, you gotta plug that because it all go together.
It do. So it's evidence-based cannabis education. So I do cannabis training for nurses. I also do speaking engagements. I support advocacy work here in Maryland. And then I also am an advisor as part of the Cannabis Nurses of Color. So really, I'm just trying to move that conversation forward and make cannabis more, or take away that stigma of cannabis and make sure people have that factual information. So we are the source of that. So if you have any questions, we can do consultations. We can help educate your staff in your schools, in your hospitals, everything.
We knew each other. But she came on Millennials Anonymous, and she started talking about cannabis, which sparked a show. So it sparked a whole nother podcast, Brunching, which died in 2020. So it ended in 2020. We had some host issues that took place. I'm gonna be very nice. I'm not petty at all. And so it ended because people had other things that they wanted to do, and that's what happened. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
And that's what happened.
I'm gonna leave it at that. But we're gonna let that die. But Brunching will probably be reloaded in 2021 with brand new people. So that's a thing. And speaking of another person that I've had on Millennials Anonymous podcast, Miss Karen. So you gotta tell us about Say It Loud podcast.
Oh man, Say It Loud is we're just working hard. I feel like COVID's been good to me. Because I've been able to kind of put more time and more energy into growing Say It Loud. So Say It Loud, it went from just being a DBA to a LLC this year. We partner now with Society for the Arts. We're working with Manscaped and Sweet Vibrations. And then January 1st, we're launching Say It Sexy. So it's a curated lingerie line.
You gotta send us samples.
We did a show called What's in Your Whole Bag, and then I designed a whole bag, and I was like, well, we need to curate items for the bag, and so we got to work. And so January 1st, Say It Sexy will be a curated line of just celebrating sexy for both men and women at every stage of life, right? Because you're sexy at 19, it's not your same sexy at 30, it's not your same sexy at 50. So just kind of picking out items that we felt, that I felt really, would kind of speak to everyone. So that'll be out, and then YouTube channels are launched and ready to go, and and we got interviews stacked and ready to go. So I'm excited for 2021. I'm really excited. Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap up 2020. We don't have any wine here. I guess I'll put a countdown in at the end for y'all because
you should.
Well, I'll put a countdown in for y'all. But we don't have no liquor now. We got
cheers.
There you go. There you go. Fake liquor.
Like a clip.
Fake glasses. But we will be back with M.A.P.S Media in 2021, almost at 2020, Jesus God. 2021 in January, we have a whole bunch of things coming. We have a conference coming as well in 2021. It will be virtual, so stay tuned for that. So if you are a podcaster, we got something for you. We have a couple of different new shows coming out. We have some different series coming out, and we're going to have some great guests coming to Millennials Anonymous, as well as some of the other podcasts. And we may have a couple of new podcasts joining the platform. So you just got to wait and see. Magic.
Yay!
So thank you so much for tuning in to our recap party. We appreciate you.
I know what you're thinking, that you wanted to be in a club and be hot and sweaty and smell balls, musk, and weed all at the same time, while having to push past people to get an overpriced drink that costs triple what it's actually worth, and to be hit on by a bunch of people that you don't even like. All to wake up next to a complete stranger that you said, I hope I did not fuck him, because this is not what life should be. I gotta do better. We understand that we have to stay 2020 New Year's Eve in the house, and it is going to be completely different from every other year that you have ever had. Now, take a page out of my book. Get dressed, get pretty, get cute, and sit your ass down. There's no need to go out in a club. There's no need to contaminate your friends, family, loved ones, strangers, even your ex. There's no need for that. You can have fun in the house, and I guarantee you that we can enjoy 2021 when it gets here. And hopefully, next New Year's Eve, I can hug you and you can hug me, and we can get together and hug Barney. You know, we're gonna get back there. I promise you. But for now, Happy New Year. Celebrate peace, love, and chicken grease, and all of that, braiding hair, and everything that you want in your life. I hope you got everything you wanted for Christmas, plus some and more. And to all of our small businesses out there, we see you, we got you, we're going to support you, we love you. All the independent media out there, you matter, okay? Small or independent media matters, all right? Hashtag that. Cash me outside. Run, tell that, okay? All of those things. We appreciate you. Everybody who watches, views, supports, buys stuff from independent and small businesses or from small media, we love you. And supporting all of the podcasts out there, we love you. So make sure you come back, because we definitely appreciate you. We'll be back again next year with brand new shows. We're going to bring you brand new content, brand new documentaries. We may even have a cartoon coming. So you just have to stay still and watch. We also have a podcasting conference coming up. So if you are a podcaster and you're like, look, I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to expand more. We got you. So make sure you stay tuned for M.A.P.S Media, because we got something coming in the works. It's cooking. If you can smell what I'm cooking, it might be burnt because I can't cook. But this conference is going to be dope. It's going to be that hot that it's hot like fire, okay? Spit hot fire. That's what we got. Make sure you follow M.A.P.S Media on all major podcasting platforms. We appreciate all our affiliates, all of our sponsors, everybody who was a part of this special. I want to give a big shout out to Karen L from Say It Loud Podcast. Make sure you represent and you shout her out and you support Karen, because Karen is so dope. Make sure you support Ashley at Cannabis Nursing Solutions because she is so dope. Make sure you reach out to Mr. Royce Massengill at Royce's Rant. Make sure you reach out to Keenan Mims and you follow him on Millennials versus the World and every other podcaster that we mentioned here today. Okay? On and off the field with Durf and Dylan. Dope discussions with Erica. Everybody. We appreciate you. Happy New Year's, because we're gonna count this down. Happy New Year's to you. We love you. I done said that 3 times, so you know I mean it. We love you. We appreciate the support.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Showed all the shit we fucked up, and so we're gonna continue with that. Okay, so here's the bloopers of M.A.P.S Media of 2020. Okay, we had some major fuck ups, like some major fuck ups. Millennials Anonymous, my words are not moving with my mouth. Shout out to Fashion Nova. The girl that wore it though looked way better than I did. And you know, you ever see somebody that looks so good in an outfit, you forget what the fuck you look like? That's what I did. And I thought I was gonna look like her, and then I got it and I was like, now I see why they used her. And I was like, no, baby, no. You got a stomach. You got arms. You got a whole bunch of stretch marks. Okay. You got a big side piece. So let's hear a message from one of our affiliates of M.A.P.S Media on Millennials Anonymous. Oh no. One of our affiliates on M.A.P.S Media on millennials.us to hear how you can get some deals too. Wow, that hurt. Ow. Yes, and I have stretch marks. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna address it. I know I have stretch marks. These are stress marks, okay? Not stretch marks. These are stress marks from 2020. We are gonna deal with it and we are gonna roll into it. But let's see what we doing over here in this M.A.P.S Media recap party so we can find out what happened back in 2020 like you fucking forgot it, because 2020 has been one of them years that you will be telling your great-great-great-grandchildren for years to come if we can ever get the fuck out of 2020. So let's go to this recap party. Let's do it. Yes. Yes, queen. Yes, king. Let's do it.
Party, let's all get wasted.
Yes, queen. Yes, king. Yes. And I know what you're thinking. A lot of y'all would be there in New York, celebrating in New York City. doing it up New York City style, down at Times Square. But guess what? We all stuck in the house. COVID, coronavirus, Corona Lachey, whatever you want to call her, ain't having it. Or him, because it might be a him, all right? They ain't having it, all right? None of it. Watch me on the computer or the phone, whatever. I don't judge, okay? I got an Android. I can't join Clubhouse, all right? So whatever you want. Wow.